acting violent. She drinks too much. But I was in the Air Force.
And probably like ran over the back of my hill.
Uber 5-star rating, calm profile picture. This man looks like he listens to NPR radio and has matching bat towels, so I think I'm safe.
Yeah, so if you hit edit ride, you can add a stop because it's like right down the road, so it's no problem.
I don't have edit ride, Mr. Red. I'm looking.
Welcome to the renewal. Please be sure to like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. So, if you're unsure what Uber is, it is an app where you can get food delivered or a car ride for a fee. It's not safe using these apps to order food, nor is it safe getting picked up by a complete stranger, is what some people would say. I said people just trying to get paid. Some people depend on these rides to get to work. And these weirdos is out here messing it up for everybody. It's just not worth taking a chance. It gives me anxiety just thinking about it. Comment below if you use any rides. Have you ever had an awkward experience? Did you report the driver? Please report these weirdos. Don't ever feel bad for speaking up. You can be saving the next person's life.
We're 15 minutes away from my mom. I don't have no car out here, so I had an Uber, and it was like a $70 Uber. So my expectation was I was gonna get in this Uber, get on my iPad, and play my games, but that is not what the fuck just happened. So as soon as the Uber pulls up, he's like, I got good news and I got bad news. And I'm like, what? He's like, the good news is I can take you. The bad news is I don't got no gas. And I'm like, okay. And my mom lives in the suburbs, so it takes a minute for Ubers to get there anyway. I didn't want to wait for another Uber. So then he was like, but I want to know if you can cancel your ride and just send me the money, like send me $40 for the Uber because Uber's not paying me shit. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, just cancel your ride, send me the money, and it's like a discount. So you're paying less and I'm getting paid more. And I'm like, this don't seem safe. I'm like, are you gonna kidnap me? Like, are you about to steal me? Like, am I gonna die? He was like, no, I promise. It's just like a money thing. Like, I can make more money, you can save money, like it's cool. And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, I'll give you my ID so you know that I'm not gonna kidnap you. And I'm like, what your ID gonna do for me? That ain't gonna do nothing for me. And he was like, well, if you take a picture of it and something happens to you, they're gonna know who did it. And I'm like, bruh, you know what? So I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, God, somebody's telling me I should not do this, but I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do it because I'm me. So I was like, that's fine. Well, it ended up, he couldn't cancel the ride. I canceled the ride. It ended up charging me anyway, plus like the $6 like fee, and then it's gonna pay me back. So I'm gonna have to pay him back later. So we get to the gas station. He's like, you want something from the store? And I'm like, no, I don't know you like that, but thank you. So we start driving. He's like, well, mind you, I drive fast. And I'm like, not with me. You're not gonna drive fast with me, buddy. Mind you, this man was doing 95 on the highway. He drives very fast. So as we're driving, he's like, oh, where are you from? I'm like, oh, I live in LA, but I'm just visiting my family here for a little bit. I'll be going back like at the end of May. But yeah, I'm from Arkansas originally, but like I live in Dallas. He's like, what part of Arkansas are you from? And I'm like, I'm from Pine Bluff. And he was like, oh, you from the Bluff? And I'm like, oh Lord, here we go. He was like, you know, I went to Pine Bluff once. I got pulled over out there. And I was like, oh, for real? Like, what happened? And he was like, I was speeding and I had the fireworks on me. And my naive ass, I'm like, oh yeah, fireworks? Like, we do fireworks all the time in Arkansas. And he was like, no, not them type of fireworks. I'm like, you got the fireworks on you right now? Do you? And he's like, no, I don't got them fireworks on me. Don't worry, I'm not gonna hit you over the head with a gun. And I'm like, even if you did, I just in my mind at this point, I'm like, God, if this is my last day, I'm going 95 on a highway in an Uber. He's talking about he got fireworks. If this is my last day, I'm gonna just have to take this L. Like, this was my decision. I might not make it. So then we get to talking more. And my plan at this point was like, I'm gonna just keep talking to him and be very friendly so that way he would feel bad about killing me if he ends up killing me. So as we get to talking, he was like, yeah, but I did 10 years. And I'm like, what you do 10 years for? And he got real quiet. He didn't answer me. And I'm like, what did you do? And he's like, aggravated robbery. And I'm like, okay. But mind you, I don't judge people. And I gave him my whole spiel. I was like, you know what? Like, I don't agree with that. I don't think it's great. But you did your time. And, you know, it's tough out here. I'm just trying to be friendly so he knows, like, do not kill me. I do not agree with aggravated robbery, by the way. Do not do that. So he's like, you real cool. You real cool. I bet if you got a story, I got 3 for you. Because I'm like, your life has been very interesting. And he was like, yeah, if you got a story, I got 3 for you. He's like, tell me a story. And I'm like, what the fuck, bro? So we're chopping it up, whatever. And then he proceeds to tell me how he be bagging women from Uber. Like, he be having little one-night stands with him. And I'm like, little do you know, sir, I don't like men. I made sure he knew that because if you think you finna take me out this car and do something to me, I don't like him. So you might not get, you know, long story short, I ended up making it. He said he want to be my friend now. I don't know. Don't ever do what I did. Like, don't ever do what I just did. And I'm telling this story because even though I'm safe, somebody else might not be that safe. And I was really blessed to still be here and get to my daddy's house. But as soon as you get in an Uber and you start feeling like something funny, just cancel it. I literally just had the most insane Uber ride in my entire life. And I'm so glad that I'm alive to tell y'all what the fuck.
So I don't know when this happened, but at some point my life stopped being a main story and turned into an optional side quest I never accepted. This day already starts off bad. I'm late. Not like running behind, but late like Avengers already left without me late. I call an Uber, 5-star rating, calm profile picture. This man looks like he listens to NPR radio and has matching bat towels, so I think I'm safe. I get in the car. After 2 minutes of complete silence, out of nowhere he goes, so, do you believe in spirits? Sir, this is not an opening line. This is typically how most horror movies start before the title card drops. I'm like, do you mean mindset? He goes, no ghost. Oh, so apparently now we're doing the Conjuring Toyota Corolla. He tells me he bought the car from a man who tragically passed away. Why are you telling me the lore? I didn't ask for the director's cut. He taps the dashboard and goes, sometimes the spirits don't like certain passengers. Okay, well, sometimes I don't like certain Uber drivers, but I still tip. So let's unpack that. Halfway through, he misses the exit. GPS recalculates and he goes, they don't want us to take that exit. Sir, who is they and why are they driving? Sir, if this turns into Fast and Furious Paranormal Drift, I'm jumping out the fucking car. I check my phone. We're not lost, but we're also not found. This is the upside down, just with traffic. Then he hits me with, so do you ever feel like you're protected? What the fuck? Protected from what? Because based on this conversation, it damn sure ain't this. Then he tells me that I have strong aura, which is crazy because 2 minutes ago, you just told me your car was haunted by demons. At this point, I'm buckled in like I'm on Space Mountain, and I'm texting my friends like, hey, if I don't make it, just make sure you clear my search history. We finally pull up to the target. I'm sweating, mentally drained, and spiritually confused. He turns around, dead serious like Mufasa talking to Simba, and he says, they told me to give you this. And he gave me a crystal. Yes, a crystal. No explanation, no receipts, just spiritual DLC. He told me, you're gonna need this. Then he drives off like an NPC that completed their dialogue tree. I'm walking through the Target, holding the crystal, looking like I escaped Stranger Things, and still forgot why I came there. I leave with toothpaste, batteries, and emotional damage. So, moral of the story, I did not order an Uber. I ordered season 1 of a Netflix original. Follow for more story times.
Story time on how an Uber driver attempted to kidnap me. I know it sounds crazy. Y'all, please bear with me because y'all know I do not do these type of videos, but... So, boom, let's get to the story. One night, it was like a Sunday, I think. So, I get in the car. Well, I put myself in the car. I get in the car, right? And I'm like, hey, how are you doing? I'm respectful because I'm like that in every ride. Like, you know, I'm always asking how you doing, like, how your day been? I'm not trying to chat it up, but I'm just trying to make sure your energy's good. Like, I walked in the car. I'm like, hey, how are you? He just looked back and which was fine. I'm like, okay, cool. It's 10. I'm tired anyway. Like, I don't want to talk, but it was kind of like eerie, right? So, okay, cool. And this was nothing but God. So before I left my house, I charged my headphones, right? Because I always put my headphones in. Don't do that, y'all. Please do not use headphones in Uber. You need to listen to what is going on around you. Don't be like me, okay? He had his phone connected, right? So I'm listening to the Bluetooth and they're talking about child porn, okay? They're talking about child predators and all types of stuff about the black webs that they use and what child predators use to talk to kids and all these websites and stuff. I listen to true crime podcasts all the time, but this one was different. Like, they were diving too deep into what was going on. Like, it was weird. Like, so I'm kind of getting like a little, not scared, but I'm like, what the heck is he listening to? And I ended up searching it up. So if I find it, I'll put it on the screen or in the comments. Every time I'm in an Uber, I'll put the address I'm going to in my maps. And that's what I did. But I noticed he took a turn, right? So I'm like, where is he going? But he had ended up going to the gas station. But this man did not say a word. He did not give me a heads up, anything. He just pulls into Quick Trip. And then he stopped the car, then he looks at me and he says, I'm going to the bathroom. Is that okay? I'm talking to y'all how he's talking to me. He literally was like, I'm going to the bathroom. Is that okay? Like, it was a weird, eerie tone. Like, oh. So then, when he went inside the gas station, I called somebody. And I'm like, stay on the phone with me. Because I feel weird in this Uber. Like, and I should have just gotten out right then and there. But I was like, okay. Like, I'm praying. I'm literally praying while this man is in the gas station. I'm like, Lord, please don't let this be my last day. Like, oof. And it's so crazy. Because a man, he was in the side. Like, he was parked next to us. And he was like, you good? To me in the car. And I was like, yeah. Like... And I put up the thumbs up. I'm like, shit, I hope so. Like, okay, then, right, he comes back. He comes back in a car, and he looks into the mirror, and he's just looking at me, you know. My heart is literally racing, y'all, because the car is off, and he's just looking at me. Then he turns to me, like, slowly. He turns his head slowly, and he said, are you safe? And I'm like, bro, what? Like, my heart started beating. I'm telling y'all, I was scared. I was so scared. And I was like, yes, why'd you ask that? Like, is there a reason I shouldn't be? And then he said... He looks at me again, and he turns again, and he said, are you sure you're safe? I said, yes. Like, why'd you ask? I said, why'd you ask that? And he said, because you look young. I'm like, in my job, I'm trying to act like I'm older, because nah, you listening to all that child, So I'm like, no, I'm not that young. Like, maybe I'm 30. Like, he says, you're in an unusual Uber. Bro, when I tell y'all my heart sunk to the ground, because what do you mean I'm in an unusual Uber? Like, y'all, I started praying in my head. I'm like, Lord, oh my God, like, I'm gonna... And I'm like, what do you mean unusual? He was just like, you look too young to be out at a time like this. And I'm like, oh no. I said, is everything okay? Like, and he says, yes. If you ever feel unsafe, let me know. You're also really, really pretty. And I'm like, okay, well, do I need to jump out? But I'm thinking in my head, like, okay, cool. I know God got me. I should not be fearing anything. Like, I know God got me. He's not gonna let anything happen to me. Like, I know God got me. Y'all, if anything like that happens, jump out the car. But anyway, so we're riding. Mind you, it's an hour ride. I don't have my headphones in. I'm listening to what's going on. The podcast is so freaking weird. Like, it's just talking about everything, all the tactics that they use and all types of stuff. We're getting closer to the destination, right? And we were on the right side of the road, right? And then he got into the turning lane. The buildings were black, like the buildings, all the lights are turned off. It was nobody in that parking lot, bro. And when I tell y'all, I got to praying. I'm like, Lord, like, oh my goodness, like, y'all, I'm gonna cry because this was crazy. I'm like, Lord, like, I'm literally praying, like, don't let nothing happen to me, please. Mind y'all, the directions, it did not say turn at all. It was no point of him turning that way at all. So cool. He was about to turn and I said, sir, there's not a turn right here. And he just looked in the mirror, bro. He just looked in the mirror. And that's when I started talking to the person I was on the phone with, because like, you need to know that I have somebody, like, I'm talking to somebody. It's just me in a car, but baby, I have somebody on speed dial that'll come through. And yeah, so anyways, yeah, so he just looked at me through the mirror. He just looked for a good 20 seconds. Like, y'all, my heart is like, I'm panicking. So yeah, then he got out the turning lane, and thank God he took me to my destination. Y'all know what's crazy? As soon as I was about to turn into the neighborhood, police car was just sitting there. I'm like, okay, like, God really loves me, because y'all, it probably wasn't about to be another night
of rest in my neck. So bro, where was this driver going? This driver was just literally zooming on the M-way. God knows to where. I think maybe because I was intoxicated, I wasn't putting two and two together, because if he had cancelled, if he had said the journey's complete, where the fuck is he taking me? And luckily for me, I am so blessed that I have my Uber connected. You know, when you can share it with someone. So the person that I'm basically gonna see, my friend, has my Uber. So once they now saw that, oh, your journey's completed, and knows the journey from east to north is like 40 minutes, but the journey's completed in like 15, they knew, yeah, something's up. So they called me and they're like, what's going on? Like, why is your journey done? And you know, it ended in the middle of the M-way. Like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. Like, I'm still going. And then the driver's like, oh, sorry about that. There's a connection issue. There's no signal. Bear in mind, I start looking at his phone, and his phone is taking him to a location, and it seems like it's working perfectly. And I look at my phone, I have connection. So that's when I started to panic. I was like, okay, something's going on. And then my friend's like, oh, give him the phone. And my friend is kind of like clocking on to what's happening. And I don't want to give the phone, because I'm thinking, if I give the phone, this guy might be like, yeah, fuck this. They've blown my cover. I'm going to take this girl to wherever. Because at this point, I didn't know where the fuck I was. So I was just like, no, it's okay. And I'm trying to talk to the driver nicely. I was like, why didn't you tell me? It's like, no, but I was still going to drop you home. And I was like, why didn't you fucking tell me? And then it's like, he's still driving on the M-way. So I'm like, yeah, take me home. And he was just like, okay, what's your postcode? I'll take you to the location. I was going to take you to the location anyway. And I'm like, okay. So it was just awkward. I just stayed on the phone to my friend. And then, the driver took me home, and before I left the car, he apologized profusely, like literally was like, I'm so sorry, you know, there's problems with the signal on my phone. And my phone had perfect signal, and clearly, like, I don't even know what to say, because I feel like there's a difference between connection being lost and you actually clicking the button that you've completed the journey. And literally when that whole thing happened, he was just apologizing and left the car. And I was so shooken up, because I was like, imagine if I actually was like intoxicated, wasted, and I passed out in the car. Where was this guy going to fucking take me? To say he completed the journey, technically he completed the journey, where was he going to take me? And that really put into perspective, I shouldn't be so trusting to Uber drivers in this country, regardless of if you're in London or the UK where there's loads of CCTV cameras. Like, girls, please be careful, because I know, like, when I go to other countries, yeah, don't sleep in an Uber, but that's something I've always done in this country. But please, there's still wicked people in this country. I don't entirely know this guy's intentions, but he didn't deal with it in the best manner, and he put my safety at risk by cancelling the journey, not even going to the side road and explaining to me what's gone on and telling me to request another journey, because that's happened to me before. So him just driving just really blew me, and it's literally like 5 a.m. So please, everybody, please be careful. Yeah, and I thank God for life, and I thank God for my fucking friend, because if not, God knows where I would have went that day. But yeah, stay safe. Yeah, say to my girlies.
I took an Uber after dropping my car off, and he told me I wasn't going home. This happened today, and it was the craziest Uber ride I've ever had. I dropped my car off for maintenance, and the shop set me up with an Uber. At first, the driver seemed cool, quiet, and professional. But a few minutes into the ride, I swear I heard him mumble under his breath. He said, "These black folks." Like he thought I didn't catch it. I brushed it off, trying not to start anything. Then he spoke up clear this time. He looked in a mirror and said, "I hope you called off for work today." I said, "Why?" And he smirked. "Because I don't know why they matched me up with your kind, but you're not going to work or home today." That's when my stomach dropped. I reached for the door, but the side I was sitting on had child lock on. I pulled, nothing happened, right? So I told him, "Stop the car. Open the door. What's wrong with you?" He kept driving, wouldn't even look at me. Traffic slowed us down, and that's when I started kicking his seat hard, yelling at him to stop. Finally, I reached across to unlock the other door. Thank God that side wasn't on child lock, and I bolted into traffic. I ran straight towards the sidewalk while cars honked. Didn't care, because one thing was clear: I was never supposed to make it to my stop. Not every Uber ride gets you home safe.
After last night, I will never take an Uber alone again, and honestly, you shouldn't either. Especially if you're in like the central Jersey area, please watch this video. So basically, last night I went out to the bars and I went with a couple of my friends, but towards the end of the night, I had kind of lost them. There was just a lot going on and I really wanted to go home, so I let them know. I was like, hey, I'm just going to call an Uber home by myself, which I've taken Ubers by myself plenty of times and never had an issue until last night. So I'm getting in my Uber. Obviously, like, I check the license plate, check all that stuff. Like, make sure your Uber's your Uber first, which I always do and have always done. So I make sure it's my right Uber and I get in the car, and slowly the guy just starts being super, super creepy and making me really uncomfortable. So within about like 3 minutes into probably the 20-minute ride, the guy starts being really creepy, telling me that like he wants to marry me, that he moved here to find a wife, and that like if I was his wife, he would provide for me, all this stuff. I was getting super uncomfortable. And I also had to note that I always sit in the front seat of Ubers because I get super car sick in the back of cars, and I've always been fine doing that. Like, I have done this with countless Uber drivers before, sitting in the front of their car, and never had an issue, but this guy was weird. It's like telling me like, yeah, you're so beautiful, like laughing, being like, you would be such a good wife, all this stuff, and I'm getting very uncomfortable very fast. So I start texting kind of my friends, being like, hey, like, I'm in an Uber right now, like, just letting you know, and this guy's being super creepy. He then went to try and like shake my hand, and I didn't want to be rude or like stop talking, because you know how men are, like, they can get really aggressive if you start to be kind of rude, and I didn't know how this guy was going to be. So I go to like shake his hand, whatever, because he was like congratulating me on being a nurse and stuff, I guess, and he takes my hand and like kisses my hand, and it was just like so freaky. And once he took my hand and like kissed it, that's the point where I was like, okay, this is really like out of the ordinary. Like, he's not just being overly friendly and kind of creepy, like, this is weird. So I slowly like shift over in my seat, and as I'm in my seat, he kept trying to like touch over, and I'm just like trying to get away at this point, because again, it's weird and I'm uncomfortable. So at this point, I like stopped talking to the guy. I'm like trying to get my friends on the phone. Like, this is really creepy at this point. And within the last 5 minutes of the ride, he starts insisting that I put my number, or put his number, into my phone. He's like, oh, I want to open up like a hookah lounge in this area, like put my number in your phone, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, like, it's fine, whatever. He's like, no, like, you come for free, like, put my number in your phone. Was being like very, very persistent about it. So I like fake put his number into my phone and like let him watch this. And we pull up to my house. The guy like slowly like stopped the car. I got my ass out of there as fast as I could, but it was just like the creepiest, weirdest Uber ride of my life. Once I got home, I was honestly just really freaked out. So I called my boyfriend. I ended up just going straight to sleep because, again, I'd been out of the bar, so I was somewhat drunk at this point. But I woke up this morning and I reported the Uber driver and gave him like a 1-star rating on the app. I don't know, the whole situation just kind of goes to show that no matter how many good Uber or Lyft drivers you've had over the years who have made you feel super safe and comfortable, that there are always going to be some creeps out there. So just make sure you're on alert when you're getting in these kind of rideshare things and being careful, because you don't want to end up in a situation like that. And I know the situation could have honestly gone so much worse. So just be careful out there.
Crazy because I'll never forget when this happened to me when I was at Target. I was coming out of Target with all my shopping bags, and this guy pulls up to me, the Uber, and he's like, "You're too big, you're too fat, you cannot come in my Prius." Mind you, I've been in so many Priuses. Like, I'm just like fed up. This is why I take Lyft over Uber. Okay, he's pulling up to me now. We're about to find out. Well, he's pulling up right away. That's sweet. And nice. Thank you, sir, so much. In my little Prius. Hey. Hi. Have you picked me up before?
No.
Yeah. I added 2 stops.
Oh, yeah?
Thank you.
Okay. I can't wait you 5 minutes.
Huh?
You pick up something? Or?
Yeah.
At the stop sign.
Have you ever had anyone my size this in your car?
Sometimes, not always. Sometimes.
I'm only asking because the person before you that picked me up, he like passed by me and he said that I was too big, and he had a Honda Pilot.
And he don't want to pick up
No, but he had a big car.
Crazy guy.
I know.
Crazy guy.
It's
Some
just
people,
like rude.
Some people rude, yes.
Y'all, I'm here waiting for my Uber because I'm about to be late to work. And this guy drove up to me and literally said, "You're too big to go into my car." Now, this is not the first time this has happened to me. This is like the third. I said, "Are you okay?" He said, "You need Uber XL." Mind you, he's driving a Honda Pilot, a huge car. I said, "You drove up to me, said I don't fit in your car. What are you waiting to cancel for?" Because he has 5 stars. He's scared because when they cancel, their stars go down. I said, "You don't want your 5-star rating to go down? You have a Honda Pilot. That is XL. Cancel the ride. Have a blessed day." Oh. And he's still around the corner. Watch him pull up on me. All right, right now I just got connected to a Prius, okay? We're going to see how it goes. It's just crazy.
Hi guys, I don't usually post any videos like this, but I figured, you know, to keep all my New York City girls safe, like I just had to post about this to spread awareness. So I was almost trafficked in like broad daylight in New York City in a freaking Uber. I still can't believe that this happened to me. I think like everything that's going on in New York City, with from the random punching to like the random this and the random that, like I honestly thought that like you getting in a cab and not going to your destination is not sort of a thing that happens here. I don't know why. I'm just never heard of any experience like this from anyone else, so maybe that's why. But I had a convention in the Javits Center and I was like, you know what, I'm so tired, I'm gonna take a cab home. So I called an Uber. I was standing on 34th and 10th Avenue, and mind you, I live in the city, like on the Upper West Side, so all he has to do is literally take 11th Avenue and go up. And this guy comes, picks me up, I see the plate, it's the right number, I get in the cab and I'm like, "Hey, it's me," and then saying my name, and I just, you know, look at my phone like how I normally would. And obviously, like when I'm looking at my phone, I don't have much like, you know, vision of like the windows or the surroundings, which in hindsight I should have looked up. But I'm just like doing my thing, and then all of a sudden like a minute or two passes, and mind you, this is like broad daylight, this is just during the day, this is like 3-4 p.m. and all of a sudden I have this like urge to like look up, and I like literally turn my head, I look up, and I'm like I literally, boom, I'm like in shock because I'm literally, there's the Lincoln Tunnel black hole right in front of my face, like, and I'm like, what the hell, like and then I start going like, hey, hello, like what are you doing, like why are you going this way, like where, like what are you doing? And then the guy, the cab driver, doesn't speak English, like he literally turns around, like gives me like a 1-8, this like I still can like see his face. Like it's so scary. He literally goes, Gah! Like he like screams at me like some kind of like vampire. I don't even know. Like he just like goes, Gah! And I'm like, oh my god, like what the hell, like oh my god. And then I literally like scramble. I'm like, oh my god, this is like the Miami traffic. I mean, oh my god. And I like literally unlock the door and like I get out of the cab, like, and thank god there was like a little bit of traffic like getting into the tunnel because he was like moving like slow, so I was able to like jump out of the freaking cab. And I'm just like standing there, and he like obviously with the move of the traffic he like goes inside the tunnel, and I'm like just in complete utter shock right now, just standing there. And the cop comes and he's like, you can't stand there, what are you doing over there? And I'm like, oh my god, I'm just like, this guy just tried to like traffic me out of like the city, like to New Jersey. Like he just, and I could not. So I like literally my heart dropped. I was like, what the hell just happened? Everything happened so quickly that I was just like, this isn't, what just happened? Like this is insane. I'm like thinking about everything. Like there were red flags. Like red flag number one, he, you know, usually Ubers, they show you the navigation of like where the cab usually goes and like what route he should typically take, and he kind of like ignored that and picked me up from like the street side versus the avenue. So he was like on a mission to go on that side, like closer to Lincoln Tunnel. And then red flag number two, like he didn't really acknowledge me. And then now that I'm thinking about it, he was like totally like on a rush or something. He seemed very determined to get the hell out of there. And like when I looked up, and he like literally as I like was saying all those things, like why are we here, like what are you doing, like he literally like just gave me a 180. He looked like a freaking zombie with red. I mean, it was just so scary. I'm not gonna be taking cabs for quite a while. Like literally it was so scary. I like jumped out of the cab, like thank god I got out. Thank god I like looked up at that moment, because if I didn't, like I would have probably had a panic attack like in the tunnel. Like god knows what would have happened. So for all of you New York City girls, please just be very, you know, aware of your surroundings. Like don't look at your phone. Like at this point, like I never have my earpods on. I never listen to music when I'm like walking the streets anymore, because I'm just like, this is, everything that's happening is so ridiculous. So just, you know, make sure to stay safe, be really, really closely just alert at all times. And I mean, this is just like a wake-up call to me. I mean, it's a wake-up call, and this happened, but it's just, I don't want anybody else to have to experience this. Obviously I reported the guy immediately to Uber. I mean, they're gonna take care of it. God knows what they're gonna do. I mean, hopefully they take care of it where he can't drive anymore. But please just be very well around of your surroundings, and just be careful, everyone, because New York City is not freaking, I mean, it was never safe, but this cab thing is like next level. This is like not, like blows my mind, like beyond. Stay safe.
Story time about how I almost got kidnapped by my Uber driver. Taking an Uber to my job because I did not have a car at the time. I get in the car, it's fine. He doesn't really greet me, but I don't really care about that. And then he's just on the phone speaking in like another language. For me, it sounded like Russian, but I don't speak Russian, so I don't know if it was Russian. But he's on the phone for like a good 5 minutes, and my job is like 15 minutes away. He takes a wrong turn, and I noticed it, and I didn't say anything about it because he like, it looked like he knew he was taking a wrong turn. And he turns around and he's like, hey, my GPS isn't working. Can I use your phone for GPS? I'm not gonna give him my phone for GPS, because he could throw my fucking shit out the window and then take me to God knows where, and that would be the end of me. Literally like on the side of the road, but I felt safer on the side of the road than in that fucking car. I was like, you could just drop me off right here and I could just call another Uber, it's fine. And then he was like, oh, no, it's okay. So he like immediately, like as soon as I said like I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna call another Uber, he was like, no, it's okay, whatever, it's working now. So then he does like a huge U-turn, keeps like driving on the way to my work. So I just left it. So actually, the rest of the ride was perfectly fine. He didn't make any more mistakes. I think that phone thing was to see if I was going to give up my phone, but I didn't. So that was fine. I'm about to get out. Like, I'm like collecting my bag and collecting everything. He turns around his full body. Like, he unbuckles his seatbelt, turns fully around. I'm in the back seat, like diagonal from him. And he's like, I love you in that dress. He was like, I bet all the guys go crazy over you, huh? And I'm like, I literally just walk out. Like, I run into my work. Like, I genuinely, thankfully, Uber has a women-only thing now that you can choose, so that's great. They did take a while to add that feature, but better late than never, I guess.
Moved out and I was living with my brother. It was late at night and the Uber driver was kind of intrusive, asking me a lot of personal questions, but you know, I'm by myself. It's the middle of the night and I'm like, sure, whatever, let's conversate. And the topic of me not being able to drive came up. I'm from New York, you know, you don't really need to drive. As long as you got an MTA bus or Uber fare, you good. I still don't know how to drive. And he got really offended by that. So offended that by the time we stopped and we were finally at my destination, he stopped the car, turned it off, and I'm just like, are you gonna open the door? And he's like, hey, I know where you live. Ha ha ha. And I'm just like, yeah, can you open the door? He is like, hey, come to the front seat. I need to teach you how to drive. And I am so fucking terrified. Mind you, I was only 21 years old. I'm really fucking young. And I'm scared shitless because I'm like, he's a guy, he's older, he clearly knows where I live, and he made a joke about it already. He turned off his app, his car, and we're sitting here in the nighttime in a neighborhood that I'm still new to where it's dead silent. So I'm just like, just go with it because you don't know what the fuck he can do. So I get in the front and he's trying to teach me all the ins and outs of driving. And I'm like, hey, like I gotta go, like my brother's waiting for me. And I'm like, oh, I think he's texting me. And he grabs my phone. He's like, yeah, nobody's texting you, girl. And then he tells me if anybody's gonna text you, it's me. My phone didn't have a code at that time. And I know, fucking stupid of me. He opens my phone, literally just swipes it open, puts his phone number in, and then texts himself. And thank God he opened the door only because I was like, oh shit, my brother's coming down, which he was because we were having a barbecue that day. So he opens the door, I get out, and right as he drives off, I get a text from him. I don't respond. I get another text from him, don't respond. And for the next several days, he kept texting me until it got creepy. He really texted me saying, am I gonna have to pull up to your house and teach you how to drive myself? Mind you, he told me that he was like a driving instructor or like I don't know, I think he helped out or either worked at a driving school at one point. But regardless to say, I'm not saying that he had any bad intentions. But I think there's a lot of men in this world who need to be more self-aware of putting women in certain situations which can be fucking terrifying. Little did he know probably that I was just scared for my life. Like, I just did what he said. I tried to play cool. I tried to stay calm. Because honestly, you never know what someone's capable of. He was bigger than me, older than me, a man, and clearly he was stronger than me too. And the fact that he knew where I lived scared the shit out of me. I should have gone further and reported him, but honestly, I was just afraid. So ladies, if you're ever in a situation like this, or even men, anyone, do better than I did and speak up and report these assholes. Because regardless of what his intention was, it was completely out of line and inappropriate.
Okay, got it. I'm gonna give a little backstory. So I just got picked up from getting my hair done. I got a silk press. It's silking. And it was going well at first. He was just asking like, how are you? You know, blah, 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 random things. And then that's when he started getting weird. He was looking at me in the rearview mirror, just like staring. And he was like, I can't take my eyes off you. Like, you're just so beautiful. You're just so gorgeous. I was like, thank you. You know, and then he just kept going. He was like, do you have a boyfriend? And I was like, yeah, I do. I don't. And then he was like, oh, like, he's so lucky. I wish you didn't have a boyfriend. You shouldn't have told me you had a boyfriend. Again, just the awkward, haha. Yeah. He was like, your boyfriend is very lucky. Like, he's very lucky. And that's when I realized that I needed to start recording because this is being reported. And by the way, I did report it. I called Uber safety hotline, whatever, and they're looking into this. But yeah, I mean, the first like moment that he just started like flirting with me, I was just like, yeah, this is not gonna go well. And even just like the question, like, who do you live with? Like, you live with your boyfriend? Like, that kind of question just was a red flag to me automatically, because There are reasons why they ask you that. Why men ask you that, okay? There has been many stories. There's been many stories, and that question has always been asked because then they know if you're an easy target. If you live with other people, you're not an easy target. So that's why I said, I was like, oh, I live with my roommates or whatever, just so that it was clear that multiple people lived in my apartment. The creepiest part to me was when he was asking, like, if he could see me again. He was like, won't you let me see you again? And he was just staring at me in the rearview mirror. Like, his eyes just, like, I don't even know what it was, but it just looked like bad news. That's what it looked like. But yeah, that really scared me. I was just like, oh, you know, a lot of people say, well, just say no. Like, a lot of men, like, they're always saying, just say no. No makeup on, no nothing, okay? The most I was doing was being nice, because that's what you have to do. You can't always be rude. You can't. Like, I know people say to say no, but that is not always the way to go, especially when you have no escape plan. Like, if you're in the back of someone's car, you can't exactly just say, no, leave me alone, like, being rude, because normally I am rude, very rude to men who try to approach me in a weird way. But that resulted in me being followed before, literally followed out of the place that I was in and just being watched the whole time. That resulted in me being grabbed and being, like, trying to be put into the back of the car. That resulted in me being... Okay, so I don't want anyone to tell me that I should have just been mean or said no. That's not how it works. Sometimes you have to play along because who knows? Like, you never know what their intentions are. You never know what they're thinking. Like, oh, I want an opportunity to see this girl. So if she is being rude to me and doesn't want me to, if, like, she doesn't want to see me again, I'm gonna make sure she sees me again, you know? You never know how they're thinking. I don't want to even know. I don't want to know. I just want to get it over with and get out of the car, you know? There was not much for me to do in that situation. Mind you, at the end, at the drop-off point, thank God he didn't drop me off at my exact drop-off point, right? Because, like, in like the maps or whatever, it put a different drop-off point. It's like a little walk. So thank God he doesn't know where I live, but he knows the area. I was literally, like, ready to get out, but I think he had the child safety lock on. Grabbed the door, and I was, like, looking at the door. I was like, where's the locks? I wish I got a video of that, but I wasn't. He was looking at me. Like, it was hard to just, like, actually record like that. But it was, like, a weird lock, so I couldn't just, like, flip the lock. Tried to open the door, and he was like, hey, like, text me first. Like, text me so I can have your number. It's like, oh, shoot. Like, what was it again? Because in the video, like I showed you, I wasn't actually looking, like, I wasn't actually putting in the number. I didn't expect him to, like, text me first, like, oh, gosh. So I'm like, oh, wait, did you get the text? Oh, shoot. I got the wrong number, you know, whatever. And then I texted him. He was like, okay. And then unlocked the door. Waited for me. Did not want me to get out. Did not want me to get out until I texted him so that he could have my number. And obviously that's, like, a huge red flag. Like, you're not supposed to flirt with people that you're driving with anyway. But yeah, he's really creepy. You see how easy that was for him to, like, keep me in the car? It was really easy. All it was the child safety lock that does not allow you to unlock the door. That's all it was. So just imagine if I said, F off, like, don't talk to me, you know? I don't want to test it out because, you know what? My knife was in my other purse. I had my pepper spray. I don't trust my pepper spray. I want something that I can, you know? I didn't have that with me. So that was a big no-no. I wasn't playing around that day. I was like, nope, not playing around. If I don't have the necessary weapons I need, I can't do this. Like, I can't be rude or even test it out, like what he might do. So, but yeah, this is just to bring awareness. Girls, be safe, okay? Ubering alone, I've Ubered alone many times, but it's not always great, okay? Because sometimes you get men who are just too much. Like, this is real stuff. Like, there has been many people who have been sexually assaulted in rides. Don't test it. Honestly, the best way to do it is to just be nice. Obviously, if they're like telling you come to my place, like let's go to my place instead, that's when you like put a guard up, maybe call the police. But I wouldn't. The story I'm about to share with you will probably scare you from using any sort of Uber or ride-sharing service in the future, so viewer discretion is advised. So the story starts in Scottsdale, Arizona, specifically on Mill Ave, where all the clubs are by ASU. At the time, I was 21, but my friend was only 20, so they had a fake ID. I had a real one. We tried to get into a club. I got in, and they didn't. They got their ID snatched, and they were threatened that the police were gonna get called, so we booked it. So we called an Uber to pick us up further down the road. Once we get in, why does this guy turn around and look at us slowly, dead in the eye, and say, "You're not gonna believe where I just came from"? So me and my friend are looking at each other like, what the fuck is this guy about to say? And then he says, "Oh, I just came from the prison." Bitch, I was shook. Always in the weirdest situations, and I'm thinking, bitch, I got in the car with a convict. He's about to kidnap us, drive us over the border. Like, we're fucked. And after a very long and dramatic pause, he says, "Oh, I actually came from the prison because I'm a correctional officer on the side." So the whole way to my friend's house, he's telling us all these crazy ass stories about this celebrity and that celebrity that he booked for trafficking or for tax evasion. Once we get to my friend's house, I mention, "Oh, I'm gonna call another Uber," and the guy's like, "No, save yourself the trouble and just reroute the trip and I'll take you home." Big fucking mistake. Because the second my seatbelt clicked again and we drove off, this man's whole demeanor and the whole conversation changed. "Oh, I may be in my 60s, but I party with 20 and 30-year-olds. They like to invite me to stuff, like I'm pretty popular." Then he starts talking about, "Oh, I have a lot of rich friends that like to hang out with pretty girls," and immediately I'm like, okay, I know what this conversation is about to lead to. He tells me that he has a master's in psychology and he's working on his doctorate and he could read people really well and he would love to read me. So I said, okay, go ahead, let me know about myself. And he tells me I'm a broken woman. Telling me that I'm broken and I need to be taken care of by an older man. And then he asked me, "Have you ever been with any salt and pepper?" At the time, I did not know what he meant. The distance between my friend's house and mine, all you gotta do is get on the 303. It is a 10-minute drive. It's empty late at night. Literally all this was happening in a span of like 10 minutes. And he starts telling me that he could set me up with some of these rich friends and I could get paid to spend the night with them. This whole time, I'm just letting him talk. Like, I'm completely silent. So I don't know how he even got the idea that this would be something I'd be into. Once we finally get to my house, why does he lock the door, turn off the car, and log out of his Uber app? Started saying that like, oh, I could have an apartment and the guy just has to have a key, but he won't actually live there, but he could come in and out whenever he wanted. The way these townhouses were set up, you could park either in your garage or you could park in the outdoor parking spots. So he asked me, "Oh, which one of those cars is yours?" I'm not going to tell him what car I drive, so I pointed to a random one. He's like, "Do you own it or do you lease it?" And I'm like, "Oh, I lease it." Now he's going off about how stupid I am with money. He's telling me, "Oh, I know a dentist that could fix your teeth," and I'm like, damn, do I need to? He knows a plastic surgery that can give me boobs, give me a BBL. Keep in mind, I actually had a friend that was waiting for me at my house. Like, they were at my door just standing there for me to like get out of this car and they could see me in there. So they were texting me like, "What the fuck is going on? Why are you in that car?" So I'm telling this dude, like, my friend is literally standing over there, like, I need to get out. Let me out of the car. Like, why is it locked? He turns around and tells me, "Okay, well, if you want to proceed, I have 3 things that I require from you," which I never gave him the indication that I wanted to. 1, you have to be pretty with a personality. 2, I have to want to you all the time, so you need to always look good. And 3, no hair. Said the only way I'm letting you out is if you give me your number. Now at the time I had a business line, my personal, and I also had a text-free number that I would give to people that I didn't feel fully comfortable giving them my real number, because you could do a lot with that online. And I've also been in the situation where I've given somebody a fake number and I couldn't say it back to them and they caught me in my lie. And that could be very dangerous. So I gave him the fake number. He actually called it to see that my phone would ring and he said, "Okay, you can go and unlock the car." For the next couple of weeks, he kept calling me, leaving text messages from random numbers. It was never the same one. But luckily, he never came back to my house and he just eventually gave up. I'm not sharing this to scare anybody from using Uber, but it is scary because you are getting in a stranger's car. And that is why I don't use Uber anymore.
Growing up, they tell us to not get in a stranger's car, do not help them look for their dog, but then Uber exists. The time that my Uber driver tried to kidnap me. During this time, I used to work really late night shifts, and whenever I felt like uneasy, I would catch an Uber because I would ride the bus home, and it was mad late. In the car, it was like 15 minutes away from my place. So I was working my job, and at my job, there's like big windows, and I was doing cashier work during the time. There was men outside just staring at me through the window, smiling, trying to wave, waiting outside for me. So I was like, I'm not walking to the bus stop. I am going to call an Uber and get straight in the car. That's what I did. Boom, my Uber driver came. I forgot what his name was. I think his name was like Lee or Young. I'm not sure what his name was, but it was a Chinese man. He was very short. If I had to guess, probably like 5'4". He picked me up. I started noticing this dude asking me personal questions. So I was like, I don't answer personal questions, you know. And I just kept looking at my phone till I give him the hint, like, stop talking to me. But I guess he didn't take the hint. Then he's like, ew, proceeded to ask me personal questions. Oh, you just got for work? I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, oh, so you work here? And I'm like, yeah. Like, of course, I'm wearing a uniform. I just got out of the same job that's on my uniform, of course. Duh. Oh, your house is nearby? I'm like, yeah. Oh, okay. Do you live with anyone? Just like, I live there. Do you have a boyfriend? I'm like, oh yeah, I do. Because I'm thinking like, oh yeah, you know, if I tell him I have a boyfriend, he will never want to talk to me. The biggest lie ever, because some of these dudes is happy side dudes. They will happily be your side man, okay? They don't care. So what's the point of asking me if I have a man if you don't care in the first place? I'm like, yeah, I got a man. Boom, boom, boom. And he's like, oh, so what you doing tonight? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go home. Conversation lasted a long time. I just kept looking down my phone, you know, pretending to be on stuff on my phone, just trying to dissociate myself from human beings. He still just kept talking, and then I noticed, like, okay, we've been in the car for a minute. I'm looking up where we at. We passed my house. Excuse me, you passed my house. It's back that way. And he's like, oh, yeah. I'm gonna do a turn. Could have just made a left turn right there because we were just at another light. You could have made a left turn and just dropped me right back off. But he decided to drive far down. Why is this man like still driving? There's so many turns you can take. Why are you still driving far down? And he's like, oh, you know, maybe I just want to spend more time with you. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to spend more time with you. I want to go home. I want to go home. Thank you, take me home. Then he finally makes another turn and he's going back towards my house. But now we're like 6-7 minutes away from my house. So he turns back around and I'm like, okay, whatever. Maybe he just made the wrong turn. I'm over here looking down at my phone, trying to not say with this dude. Then I look up and see that we passed my place again. He knew where my place was. The GPS showed him where to stop, and he decided to pass my place again. And then when he passed my place, I said, you're passing my place. And he's like, oh, no, it's okay. He's like, okay, can I take you out sometime? Can I take you out? And I'm like, no, I'm not interested. No, you cannot take me out. No. So boom, he takes another U-turn, right? And passes my house again. I said, you know what? If you don't let me out this car, I'm gonna be the last face you see today. And I was bad that time. I used to be really bad, so I used to talk really bad. And he's like, I'm gonna do a U-turn right now. I said, no, unlock the door and let me get out right now. It's the fact that he had to pause. Like, we're right by the corner. I could just walk to my house, but he had child lock on. He knew I was suspicious because that day I was carrying. I think he felt it. And I said, unlock these doors. He took like a breath of thinking, like, then he unlocks the door and I get out. Man could still be trying to drive other people. He could, you know, probably try to kidnap somebody. But yeah, that was the last time I caught an Uber, because that, imagine paying someone to kidnap you.
Or even, ladies, please be careful when you're getting in these Ubers and these Lyfts, please, because these are strangers and they don't know you and you don't know them. I'm about to tell y'all a story on how I almost got kidnapped / murdered or even sex trafficked the other night going to my overnight shift. So this all happened on Monday, June 9th, around like 10:35, 10:40 p.m. I only work 8 minutes away from my job, so it never takes long at all to get there. It is 2 ways you can get there. You can go straight down the road, make it right, and you're there in 8 minutes, or you can go the longer way, which will probably take probably like 10 minutes at the max. So I'm thinking I'm gonna be late, so I'm texting hold up, let's backtrack. When I got in the car, the Lyft driver said, hi, how you doing? Are you Layla? I always check the car license plate and to make sure the car is matching up to the app, the car that's on the app, as well as saying, hi, is this for Layla, before I step in that car. He asked me, I let him know, we verified that, boom, moving on. Once he pulled off, I realized that he's about to take the longer way. So I'm like, oh, whatever. So I text my relief, I might be a minute or two late. My Uber is taking a little long. Whole time it was my fault, but whatever. But yeah, so the Uber starts taking a long way. Notice that it gets to the point where we're getting close. I'm starting to realize how, I'm starting to realize the area. I'm like, okay, I'm getting close. I look at the phone. I'm always looking at the phone the whole entire time when I'm in the Uber, because y'all gonna see why I say look at the phone, because things change, suspicious things happen, and you gotta pay attention. So it said 1 minute, so I'm texting my relief. I'm like, okay, good thing I'm not gonna be late. He's actually getting me there on time. It says I'm gonna be 1 minute. I'm like 1 minute away. That 1 minute went from 1 minute to 15 minutes. Now, like I said before, going to my job is two different ways. You can go the longer way, which is like 10 minutes, or you can go the fast way, which is like 8 minutes. You're never getting on no bridge. You're never going above 10 minutes to get to my job. So I can understand if a ride, like, you might miss a turn, so it went from 1 minute maybe 5 or maybe 6. That happened to me before, and it rerouted. So me understanding that, I was like, okay, let me give him 2 to 3 minutes to see if this car is going to reroute and go back to a shorter time lane, because he might have just made the wrong turn. So I'm like, why did you just go 1 minute to 15 minutes? And he didn't say nothing. So I said it again, and I did raise my voice a little bit just so he can hear me, because I do have a soft voice. So I'm like, maybe he can't hear me. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt from the jump to the end. And this is why I gotta stop being so nice all the time, because people are really crazy and out of their minds. He's not saying anything now. He's acting like he doesn't understand what I'm saying. He's acting like he doesn't speak English, because he's like, I don't, like, doing little stuff like that. Then he started pointing to different bridges, and I'm realizing that we're seeing different bridges. I'm realizing that we're entering a highway that I'd never seen before going to work. 1, 2, we're entering a highway where it's different bridges that I've never seen before as well. So after I asked the second time, and I'm like, hello, where are we going? Why are you going this way? We're supposed to be going to such and such, my job. I'm not gonna disclose where I work at, but I'm like, we're supposed to be going to such and such. Where are you going? He's still not saying anything. Still acting like either he's acting like he can't hear me, or he's acting as if he doesn't speak English. So now he is starting to speed up. He's speeding up to the point where I'm having to hold on to the side of the car, like, unacceptable. Because I'm okay with my Uber speed, especially if I gotta get somewhere. Like, I'm okay with y'all pushing the gas a little bit. But for you to be going as fast as you were to the point where I had to hold on, and mind you, I always put my seatbelt on. I'm not doing no cute stuff. Nothing trying to be cute. Just take pictures of videos in the car. I put my seatbelt on every time, because again, like I said, these are strangers. So he's still ignoring everything that I'm saying. He's speeding up excessively at this point. And now I'm like, hello, where the fuck are you going? Like, now I'm getting mad. Now I'm cursing, and I'm just like yelling at him down there. I'm getting his ear. Mind you, his driver's seat's right there. I'm right in the back of his ear. Where are you going? Get me out this car right now. Stop going so fast. I'm just saying all this different stuff. I'm like going so fast because this video is going to end soon, so I don't want to sit in before I tell you everything. I am a very detailed talker, so he's still speeding fast. And I realized after like the 3rd time that I said, where are you going? Pull this car over if you're not going to my job. Like, you're going a whole nother way I don't go. Like, I realized that every time I said something, he's speeding more and more. So now I'm like, okay, this nigga is crazy. So I ended up calling my brother, because he has my location. My brother always watches my location. This is who I stay with in Boston. Always watches my location when I go to work, because I work overnight, and it is dangerous out here. And so he ended up, I called him, but I'm trying to move so smart and militant, because I'm just like, I don't want to do anything that's going to trigger him to snap out. He might swerve on the car and make me slam to the other side of the car and break my phone or some shit. Like, do anything to kind of distract me so that he could do his thing with getting me to where he wanted to get me to. So I ended up calling my brother, and I silently said with my little microphone, I'm just like, check my location and see how far I am from my job. So he checks it, and he said, Layla, you're going outside of Boston. When I tell you, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna cry in here, because I hate, like, I don't know, I just feel like I don't be wanting to be that vulnerable. But maybe I need to start doing that with y'all. But this makes me emotional, and it was very hard for me to even explain this to y'all, because I didn't want y'all looking at me like I wanted a pity party or was just trying to go viral or anything. I really genuinely just want females to be safe and pay attention. Like, don't be in these cars being dizzy and thinking you could just do whatever you want, listen to music, scroll on your phone, keep your head down, pay attention, keep your head on the swivel. So once he said that, my heart dropped. I'm not gonna lie. When he said you're going outside of Boston, you're going the whole opposite way from your job, mind you, I said that it actually was 13 minutes. He went from 1 minute to 13 minutes, and then the time just kept getting longer and longer because he's going the whole different opposite way. Now I act like a crazy person in this car, because I'm just like, my mom always told me people be scared of scary people, for real. When you start doing all that crazy scary shit, that's what creeps them out. So I'm now kicking the side of the door. I'm kicking the back of his seat. I'm like, get me the fuck out this car. Let me get out this car. Drop this. I'm gonna stop this car right now. Like, I'm yelling at him to the top of my lungs. Like, literally kicking. I don't even want to show you my toe, but I literally cracked my toenail because I'm kicking the seat so hard to get out the car. And he's not stopping. At this point, he's going faster and faster. So mind you, I'm on the phone with my brother now, because I just told him, like, check my location. So he's on the phone. He hears me screaming. He hears me kicking and shit like that. And I finally kicked the door. I'm finally kicking the door hard enough to the point where it's like opening up little by little. Every time I tried to unlock the lock, he was locking it back. I'm pretty sure y'all didn't I'm hoping that y'all paying attention to the story to realize how many the man started going fast. The first biggest red flag, he went from 1 minute to 13 minutes to 15. Now it's going on 20 minutes. We're going through bridges, which you don't have to do to get to 8 minute destination. He's acting like he don't speak English. When I first got in the car, he asked me for my name and asked me hi. I said literally, hi, how are you? Are you Layla? So now you don't speak English. Then he's speeding up every time doing something, like yelling at him or asking him a question. He's speeding up more and more. Then he wouldn't let me out the car. He's locking the car back when I'm unlocking it. I finally got out the car and damn near stumbled out the car, messed my toe up, come at the cop as well, because the cop ended up seeing me on the highway, and he stopped out of nowhere. Mind you, it was raining and everything. Stopped and said, hey, like, you're not supposed to be on this highway. This is a very unsafe, busy highway. Like, why are you here? Mind you, I'm crying. I'm foot messed up. Like, it was just a horrible situation. So So he ended up calling one of his troopers. His trooper came. He asked the trooper to take me home. They wouldn't even want to take me home. They kept making it seem like I was tripping because I wanted to get out on the highway. And I'm like, nigga, I was really almost getting kidnapped. Almost got kidnapped, sex trafficked, or murdered. And you thought I wasn't about to push my body out of that car? I don't care where I was at. I'm not about to go down like that. I know how to move. I'm not going to be dumb and, oh, he's probably going to go reroute and get me back to my job. No, I'm going to take action. I don't have time to think. I don't have time to give anybody the benefit of the doubt no more when somebody's not letting me out of their car. So let me know if y'all want part 2 because this video is about to end. But be safe, ladies. Please be safe. Please pay attention in the cars. Don't be listening to music. Don't be on social media scrolling. Pay attention to the phone, the GPS that they have. Pay attention to your app. Just even send your peoples your location, whatever you need to do, because this was very